Hey, everybody. Isn't it crazy when you go through tower moments at the same time as incredible miracles are happening? It's like, what is happening? What's happening to my reality? You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh at these times. Yeah, wonky energies, wonky. I don't know if you guys been feeling that, but there's definitely some like, whoa. It's like a rocky, like being on a choppy ocean. And then and right when you're like, oh, okay, wait a minute, wait a minute, everybody run, grab the steering wheel. Steering wheel. What's it called in the boat? I don't think it's called a steering wheel. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Lord. You do have to have a sense of humor, guys. Don't take yourselves too seriously if stuff starts happening. And, just remember who you are. Remember what you are. Remember what you believe. Don't let anybody shake your beliefs. God is never against you. Life is never against you. You know, just remember those key things and you'll be just fine. Okay. So, da, 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 I got my little sea creatures here today, and I just wanted to pull an animal spirit. And you know what? Somebody said recently that they'd been in my daily boost for like quite a while, and she'd never heard of the winks. I'm like, what? How could you not hear about the winks? Are like some of the fun. It's part of the funnest part of being in the daily boost. Okay, so two stories. I had a client who was considering getting on the daily boost. She'd been thinking about it for a while, and she thought to herself, okay. And she went to get on the website and to go upgrade to the daily boost, and she was ready. And then she thought, no, I'm getting paid tomorrow. I'm going to wait until I get paid tomorrow. So the next morning, she feels this incredible sensation wash over her of all this incredible loving energy and just this we actually had a reading the next day, which is so funny because she said, Amy, I just want you to read into something for me. She goes, approximately this time, this morning, actually, I had the most incredible experience. I was just walking along doing my thing, and all of a sudden, this incredible energy washed over me, and it just, this boost of energy just energized me and just made me feel like a sense of everything's going to be just fine. And I just felt so at peace and so loved for a moment. And she goes, could you feel into what that was? And I started giggling and I said, did you join the Daily Boost last night? And she says, I almost did. I'm going to today. And I said, and I laughed and I said, spirit knows your intentions, so like, for example, like even if you guys order like a remote reading, let's say, and you get it on the calendar and you're all scheduled, spirit knows your intentions and it rewards that, like it gives you that already. So I've had people have a whole list of things on their remote reading list of what to talk to me, and by the time they have the reading, it's all gotten resolved because they signed up and they started going through the process. Spirit already started working on their behalf. Isn't that incredible? And for her, in her case, it already gave her the daily boost that next morning, even though she hadn't even signed up yet. And I said, well, God's giving you a little wink there. You're going in the right direction. That's pretty cool. Spirit's totally got my back, you guys. So, and yours too, obviously. So don't you worry if, even if you send in a video reading and the video reading takes a while to get to you, it's spirit still working on your behalf. It knows your intentions and it starts to work on your behalf, even if I haven't directly been involved. And that's my higher self jumping in to help. That's my higher self working with God saying, okay, let's take care of this person. This person has needs right now. So I don't want anybody to ever feel like, oh my gosh, it hasn't happened yet. I haven't had my reading yet. And I have to wait for that. And it's like, you don't have to wait for anything. Spirit's already got you. It's already working it out. And that's why I tell people too, when you're in the daily boost, you don't have to let me know what's going on in your life. I've had people reach out with me before and tell me their ailments or what's going on. And I'm like, I hold the intention that whatever your concerns are, like it's quite a program. Whatever your concerns are, I'm providing solutions, support, everything that you need in order for things to go smoothly as possible. And for you to feel that support, and for you to feel calm and nurtured and loved and everything that you need. Okay. You and your entire household. It's like, oh, such an incredible bargain. It really is. So, so I got you. Spirit's got you no matter what. So don't you worry. And you can't trick spirit. You can't go, oh, well, I'll pretend to get on the daily boost and then spirit's got me. It doesn't work that way either, because spirit knows your heart. Spirit knows what you're doing. All right. So the winks of the universe and the daily boost, what that is basically I just get, while I'm watching over you guys, kind of shepherding in a way, I get like different impressions and things. Like one time I got like Jack and the Beanstalk. Had no idea what that even meant. But I put that in as a wink, like somebody's like, I'm getting Jack and the Beanstalk, and I'm getting somebody needs to stand up for themselves, and I'm getting that somebody needs to this, that, or the other thing, or someone needs to hear this message, and it may or may not apply depending on how specific it is. It may apply to one person in the entire boost that really needed to hear that, or it could apply to everybody. And I have people who write me. My daily boosters writing me on Telegram saying, oh my gosh, your boost last night, your wink last night it so resonated. You have no idea, that it blew my mind. It was like you read my mind. So I get on there every, once a week or every few days or something, whenever I feel inspired to do it. But I'm always like every day I'm tending to you guys on a regular basis, whether I'm putting a wink in or not, that doesn't matter. And if I happen to be by a pad of paper or near my phone when I'm doing something for you, then I might make a note of it so that I can put it in a wink later, So sometimes I compile these notes over the course of a few days or whatnot, but it still doesn't cover everything that I've been doing for you guys behind the scenes. So if you're a daily booster, make sure you go to the section that says winks from the universe or just winks. And you can look back at all those. They've been accumulating for a long time. So I have people who just signed up now, and they go, one person wrote to me and said that they'd written, or they had been reading all of the winks all the way back from the beginning forward, and they were crying because they said that was like, it was so spot on for what I needed to hear all along the way that I read it. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so relevant. So even somebody going, way back for months still found all the winks relevant to her when she went through and read them all. So yeah, take advantage of those winks, you guys. It can be super helpful. The last one had something about a manifestation exercise I found. I shared with you guys and told you how it affected me. I shared a really, really sweet story of, a super sweet little neighbor girl that came by and just a little miracle happened. And I shared that in there, and just, anything I feel like you guys need to know about. I keep you apprised also of what's going on with me and how I'm developing my business. Sometimes I let you know you're the only ones that I will tell about my updates and stuff, because I consider you kind of like a little bit of a closer family to me than just the general population, because I'm investing energy in you all the time. So I do confide in you sometimes and share with you things that are going on in the ways that I'm developing. So yeah, don't miss out on that. It's some good stuff. It's like, it turns into, sometimes it feels like a bit of a personal diary. So, and if anybody's in the chat right now, that's in the Daily Boost and you know about the winks, then maybe you could share something to encourage other daily boosters to check out those winks. All right. So who is watching over us right now? Polar Bear, Mystic. Know that challenges make you stronger. Yes, they do. Have faith when you face adversity. Take time to rest, dream, and renew your strength. Embrace your psychic abilities. You carry the shaman within. That's beautiful. So when you do go through these tower moments, and maybe they're putting me through it to help to, you know, they always do that actually. Come to think of it, maybe they are. They definitely are. I get put through stuff before you guys have to go through them so that I can help you navigate your path. So just like I said before, remind yourself of who you are. Hopefully you made that video. I told you like a week or two ago, make a video to yourself. Should you go through some kind of a tower moment, you can watch that video and help support yourself through it. Like, hey, I believe in you. I love you. This is what you're all about. This is what you stand for. And this is, you know, how you get yourself out of any kind of a tough thing. You know, you laugh or you write in your diary or whatever your thing is. Make yourself like a little video encouraging yourself to do X, Y, and Z on all these different steps, because when you're frazzled like that, and when you have like your PTSD reactivated, or you just have a little a rattling to your faith, like a shaking of your faith, it's really good to come back to those basics, and because you can't see straight when you're full of anxiety, fear, and stress. You cannot see straight. You can't. You have to absolutely quiet your mind and quiet your heart to get the right accurate guidance and to make a clear decision. So first thing you need to do is meditate, drop into your heart completely. Just ignore all of the noise, all of it, no matter what it is, and just drop it all and realize the utmost important thing is to connect with God here in the present, in the moment. Hold hands with God, being present. That is your number one priority. And you could even touch something. Touching something helps you come out of anxiety. So hold a blanket, something with texture, pet your animal, whatever is around you, rub a blanket, you know, and then just shut out any sound. That's why it's good to practice this every day so you understand how to do it. Don't let anything distract you. Don't put out any fires. Don't do anything else. Just get present, because that's your greatest and most profound protection you have. And also it can bring insights. The second thing I would suggest, thank you, God, for my misery exercise. So get used to doing that so you understand how to do it. You're not trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Get in the hang of always going to that. That's your go-to tool. If you have something you feel like victimized by, thank you, God, that this is happening. And because you're going to have some epiphanies and realizations, writing it out. Make sure you write it out. Do not do it in your head. That's your ego trying to take shortcuts. Okay. All right. After that, pull in support if you need it. Emotional support, whatever kind of support you need, like reach out and do Byron Katie's work or whatever you can. Like, it's better to hash it out in your heart before you go to start talking about negative things. You don't want to be talking about negative things with people unless you've kind of transformed and worked on the energy yourself. You could use the manifestation exercise to switch the energy around. Keep it going from, instead of going down a downward spiral, you can stop it immediately and start pushing it back uphill again with your energy. You can change your circumstances immediately, just like that, by pushing it back up again. Dance around, laugh hysterically, just collapse on your bed and laugh and laugh and laugh. Roll around on the floor, whatever you got to do, like run around your house and act like a turkey. You know, whatever you got to do to make yourself laugh. Call a funny friend, watch funny videos, you know, but whatever you do, don't stay in that energy, because, you know, you'll take yourself to a really ugly place if you do that. And make sure you get adequate rest. It's really important that you sleep and that you get good sleep, even if you have to take Benadryl or something, God forbid, you know. All right. So I hope that helps somebody, or maybe all of you. I don't know. The energies tend to, you know, they tend to hit me first and then they'll come to you. But I did warn you. I did tell you that there would be, like, you guys need to be doing some of these things so that you're used to it, so that you're ready for it, and it doesn't knock you too far off kilter for too long. Okay. So we're going to start with the whale today. I'm going to let you see these. They're so cute. And I end up putting them over here, and then you don't get to see them very well. Look at, he's like peeking. So cute. Okay. it's too easy to make me happy. Like I'm too too appeasable. Oh my gosh. All right. 5487. 5487. I truly appreciate you, Amy. Could you please let me know if any black magic is being done on me? And if so, clear it. Absolutely. Thank you. Okay. This is a reminder too for some of you who are in the chat or new to this process. I know I just began the reading. I'm sorry. I'm going to go back on it for a minute. I'm going to explain this process of how to order a question because we seemed to have a few new people last week. So I just thought that I would recoup, just let you know how the process goes. All right. So first of all, you got to go to awakenedalliance.org. When you get there, you become a member. It costs $22, but you get your $22 back right away on your first order. So it's free. But you become a member and you can read the agreement and everything if you want to understand what all that's about, because I'm a private membership association. It protects you, it protects me, makes things amicable and fair. And yeah, it's a good thing. It's a very positive thing. So when you get in, once you're a member, then you go to the services page and then you go to Ask Amy Q&A. And then you fill out the form and ask your question when you order. And then all that comes to me. And then I put it in a spreadsheet and I read off of it every Monday morning. So I did find that a couple of you this week asked many questions, but only ordered one question. It doesn't work that way. So for the sake of the Q&A and the processes and proper boundaries, I just thought I'd reiterate is the word I was looking for. Reiterate that you pay per question. Now you may get more information than you asked for in your question, but still, please just pay for one question if you're getting one question. If you ask me 3 questions, then you need to pay for 3 questions, okay? So it's $33 per question. And now if you just signed up as a member, that's only $11 because you get $22 off. So that's how that works. And so the deadline is Sunday nights in US time. So Sunday nights, get your questions to me and they'll be ready for Monday. Some of you have snuck in on Mondays, which is fine, but that's not going to work always. So you're taking a risk if you submit your question on Monday. So definitely try to get it to me by Sunday. Okay. Now, yeah, okay. So getting to the black magic for you. Okay. How much I get a yes. Okay. That's interesting because it has something to do with a walrus, because I saw a walrus when I closed my eyes and I saw the black magic. So huh. That's really interesting. What does that mean? Oh, huh. Some kind of a puncture. I see it like there's like a, this is so weird what I see sometimes in spirit. There's like a can and a walrus punctured it with 2 teeth. So then that made me think of like a spider bite, how it has it has a bigger hole and a smaller hole. It kind of looked like that. So it could be, shapeshifter. It's a shapeshifter that's taunting you. It feels like it taps on your shoulder and runs around to the other side. And it's like, made you look, hey, where are you? It's like, it's a trickster energy. Yeah. So okay. Na type momoha ke na aisan se hala shishinke na puma. I said something that sounded like puma in there, but I think it's big cats are protecting you. So like I get a puma energy or cheetah or whatever kind of big cat it is, it's going to start showing up for you. But that's your spirit guide right now. That's one of the animal spirit totems that are helping you right now with this. And I think big cats are about being independently strong. So maybe this is about somebody who's trying to make you feel like you're disempowered without them. Somebody who you need to take your power away from, like take your power back away from that person, trying to act like they know better than you, or they can make better decisions than you, or they have all the answers and you're left with nothing, wondering what's going on. They have total control, whatever this is, like that's that trickster energy is in that person operating through them to you. Could be a narcissist. So, so in order for this thing not to keep coming back, you need to stay filled with joy as much as possible. Laughter, giggles, silliness, raise your vibration, do qigong every day. Any of that to like boost your chi or boost your happiness and boost your silliness and boost your big kid in you. That's definitely going to ick the energy out, but I would say definitely you should be all about your sovereignty and freedom right now. You should be all about, how can I get completely independent of anybody else? How do I be completely autonomous from anybody else and operate in my power by myself, live by myself, provide for myself? Like everything should be about you, and especially your love for yourself, they're saying. Loving yourself, being your sole support for that loving and nurturing that you need, being able to look in the mirror and say, I love you and I got you. You ain't going nowhere, girl. Like I will love you through anything, through thick and thin, through good, through bad, through roller coasters, through storms. It don't matter. I'm here for you. Okay. So you got to be that for yourself. And the hand on the heart thing really does work. It's a wonderful activator. To just close your eyes and hold your heart. Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you so tremendously. You have no idea how much I love you. Oh, how can I prove how much I love you? I just love you so much. So I feel like getting some messages from spirit here. Which one? They're saying your throat chakra needs clearing. Oh, I knew that card was going to come out. So you need to speak your truth about something. There's a message there's been a message coming through about letting your inner truth reflect in your outer world, no matter what. It's like, that's what we all need to be focused on right now. What are my true innermost desires? What do I truly, truly want? Who am I? What am I about? All that stuff that's important to you needs to be reflected in your outer world. In other words, don't be living a double life, and do not be living a lie, and do not be leading others on in your environment, like faking, I'm this person, I'm that person, and the other thing, and not be that within here. We got to stop all faking out, especially faking ourselves out. Okay. So if you're looking to give some stuff away, maybe you're thinking about moving or something like that, or you're just you've been giving, give it anonymously to those who are in difficult places you've been before. So think about what that could be, and then take that advice, and just make a wish will conspire to make it come true. I also just got random acts of kindness with that. Like, getting into an abundant state means sometimes you see a need for something and you jump in and provide. So you'll see a cute little old guy in line in front of you, kind of fumbling around for his change and trying to count things and looking a little worried. Buy his groceries, or you see somebody else and she just looks really flustered, and it's like something, you can tell something's happened in her life to where she just can't think straight. She's in that really worried state or whatever. Offer to help. Can I help you find something? Can I do something for you? Like, let me open your car door. Like, whatever. You can just be nice, be kind to people, and don't stay in your own little protective bubble. and just be all about yourself. We all need to be like reaching out, making sure all of those people around us are also doing all right. You know, look out for your neighbors, look out for each other everywhere that you go. Okay. And if you had any idea how protected you are, you wouldn't spend another wasted moment on worry. Now, I feel like this is for a lot of you also who are, going through those tower moments too. Okay. Wow. So if you are going through one of those tower moments, the advice is your objective right now is to continue your healing work as everything else is being worked out behind the scenes. Just focus on you. Don't make it a big old story about them. Don't be blaming them. Don't get upset with them. Just be like, I am in these circumstances to heal something that's being triggered within me. Just keep coming back to you. And then that's how you'll expedite your getting out of that situation in the best way possible. So it doesn't circle back around. A lot of times we get tested. It's like, are you really healed? Are you really doing better? And so you get put through that to kind of show yourself and prove to yourself that you truly are choosing a new path or a new way of being or a new way of living or whatever it is for you. Okay. Sorry. Like, I don't know. We all get tested in different ways, but it really comes down to like, what do you truly believe? Is life against you or is it for you? Are you really able to manifest, or is that just something you were doing because somebody told you that it was the right thing to do? All those kinds of tests, like really kind of checking yourself. And do I really believe in, what my spirit guides are telling me? Or do I need to look at something different? Do I need to learn something new? Do I really believe that I'm eating the right foods and doing the right things here? Or am I now questioning? Am I wondering whether there's another way? Or, just constantly checking yourself when these moments happen, because there's always the possibility that an amazing miracle could happen on the other side of it. And if you were me, you would know that for 100%. Like everything that happens in my life, no matter how bad it looks that I might be going through, on the other side of it is always something incredible and miraculous. Always, 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 without fail. It's never just the bad thing. And when you look back at your life, the other stuff that was bad that happened in the past, like this is why you do the thank you God for my misery exercise on all the things in the past. Thank you, God, that, I lost my job at that place, or thank you, God, that I lost my boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. You write down all those benefits and advantages, and all of a sudden you realize, oh my gosh, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. It truly was. Like your higher self does not put you through tough things to break you. It never does. It always brings you to a better place as a result, and it's trying to show you something. It's trying to align you to a deeper truth within you, anchor it in even more. So just anchor in your most positive beliefs, make them more solid. Okay. All right. Let's get another little animal here. We have a killer whale. Okay. Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for what you do for all of us. You're welcome. My pleasure. I really enjoyed listening to your Q&A last week. That was a funny one. There's always something in there for me. Well, I'm glad. My question is concerning my relationship with my daughter. I've never really agreed with her decisions around the men that she's chosen to be with in her life. I've been as supportive as I could, keeping my own boundaries, and I've been a bit of a rescuer with her, and I'm feeling exhausted by it all. She's now in her 40s and newly divorced. Due to all the past drama, I feel our relationship has taken a hit, and I'm not really sure how best to move forward. Any advice would be so appreciated. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I get it. But it just feels like sometimes people really do need a bit of tough love. It's like you can go get the fish for them, or you can teach them how to fish, right? So let me see. everybody has to go through their growth processes, but the most important thing going through them is that they're able to reflect back on themselves, and they can only do that if you don't do for them. I can't even tell you how many things I've gone through, how many really, really, really tough, even devastating, traumatic things in my life where absolutely nobody was there for me at all. Even if I went to them, even if I begged and pleaded for them to help me, they would not have anything to do with it. I had a really, really hard life, you guys. And because of that, though, I'm super grateful for it. Now, would I treat anybody like that? Hell no. I have really good boundaries, but I've got a ton of compassion because I've been through the ringer. So she feels like one of the things that you might have to memorize saying to her is, well, what are you going to do about that? I mean, just make that like your go-to default thing that you say, because number one, it's going to keep her from coming back all the time, expecting you to come up with the answers for everything or you to come up with the solutions. Well, what are you going to do about that? She's going to get very frustrated and upset. And especially if, she's used to throwing tantrums or you covering everything for her. But that pushback will make her look at herself. And it's kind of like, have you ever gotten in a fight with somebody and you keep arguing back and forth your points? Well, I think this, and here's my perspective. Well, I think this is my perspective. And they keep going back and forth back. Does anybody ever listen to each other? Not really. It's only when somebody stops and like validates, like just understanding the feelings, understanding the feelings. So you could say to her, you could validate her and say, I understand that you're very fearful right now. I totally get that feeling. I've been fearful before in my life. I've had fearful things happen. I get it. I would be very fearful probably too in your shoes. Absolutely 100%. So whatever, and I'm very sad and it's not fair. Oh, wow. I totally get that. Yeah, not fair. Boy, have I seen a lot of not fair in my life, so totally validate what she's feeling. Don't try to change it. Don't try to make it different. Don't try to, oh, well, let's come up with this to provide for that. Or let's come up with a solution or whatever, unless she's directly asking for a solution. And then, if she's calm and she's like, okay, so what do you think I could do? Then maybe brainstorm with her a bit, but don't do it for her again. Well, maybe you could call so-and-so, or maybe you could write to so-and-so, or maybe you could submit an Ask Amy question, but just whatever comes to your mind to help her with, they're just ideas for her to then go take care of. So you're not putting out any of her fires for her. And that's going to help her when you're in, like I was saying, like an argument and you the way that the person hears you best is if you walk away from it, or if you say something very brief and walk away, then all they hear is their own fighting in their own head as you're walking away. And I don't mean like walk away from it. I don't mean being like a jerk. I don't mean like just being like, F you, and leaving them insecure and scared, and you're like walking out the door. That's an a-hole, okay? That's a bully. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about saying, I love you. I'm going to walk into the other room for a moment so we can get our wits about us. Please do not follow me in there. I'm just going to process this. But I love you, and I will be back. But I just have to think this through because I want to come to you lovingly, and I can't right now because I'm very upset about what's been said. Or just saying, I will be right back. I will be right back, and not engaging too much and just getting out of there, because they're going to be, what did I just say? Oh yeah. And it's like echoing back in their head. So in a similar way with her, if she's then you just keep pushing back with that. What are you going to do about it? It makes her see herself. What are you going to do about it? It's like putting a mirror up every time. What are you going to do about it? Okay. So what are you going to do about it? I understand you're scared. So what are you going to do about it? So I think that's going to alleviate quite a bit, is having those. And you said that you were working on having healthy boundaries, and that's great. So maybe just add that. Do absolutely nothing for her, but validate her and ask her what she's going to do. Don't do anything else. Nothing else. Don't get involved with like going and picking her up and taking her up, just be like, you got yourself into the situation. You're going to have to figure this out. you're the one who made that decision to go do this, that, or the other thing. And I also I would maybe teach her the thank you God for my misery exercise, sit down with her and teach her how to do that for herself so that she can start to learn and grow from these relationships. When you learn and grow, you stop being with those kinds of people. So somehow in there, maybe you're doing the learning and growing and educating for her, and she doesn't have any room to do for it herself. I mean, if you're doing it all for her, if you're like, oh, here's what we learned from that situation, we learned blah, 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 blah. She didn't learn anything because she didn't come up with that herself. You're just telling it to her. You know what I mean? It's different. So allow her to go through these experiences and experience the pain that she caused by the decision she was making, and let her see the repercussions of it. That's what's going to help her to have healthier relationships later on, and reflecting on her behavior and decisions and all that kind of stuff. I'm asking Spirit if this is complete, if that's what you needed to hear. And I do get a yes. However, I do feel something else for some reason. Yeah, it's almost like if you guys were out in the ocean, she would grab you and drown you so she could live. People get panicked when they're out there in the middle of a storm like that. So you let her be out there flailing around and let her calm herself down, teach herself how to self-soothe. When she's calmly swimming, then you can go out there and get her into a life raft. But don't do it while she's flailing around, freaking out. Wait till she's calmed down, and then you can talk it through. Yeah, she still has a bit of a victim mentality. I think that's why she keeps repeating those mistakes. So I think you do gotta, just follow the advice I just gave you, and it'll be better if she can learn how to do that exercise. If she doesn't do that exercise, she's not taking responsibility for herself, or something similar to it. If she's not taking responsibility for herself, then you can't take the brunt of it. You can't be the one that takes her lumps for her. She has to be able to feel her own consequences for her actions. So let her do that. So, and I would even, because in a remote reading, we could talk all about all the different ways she gets to you. But it's kind of tough to answer this in more depth. But I would say, like, let's say we're talking boundaries in general. People that try to stomp all over our boundaries, they'll call us at all hours, acting like everything's an emergency. So one of the first things I would do is I would let her know the boundaries you're about to set. I would say, I'll talk to you about this between normal hours of busyness. So between 8 and 8. Between 8 and 8, I'll talk to you about these things, but after 8 is my relaxation time until 8 in the morning. Those are my relaxation times, and I want to be left alone during those times. And all you have to do is say that. If she doesn't listen, then what happens is she goes to try to call you, and you don't pick up because you have your phone on airplane mode and she cannot reach you. So show her that what you say, you actually abide by, that it's true, that she'll listen to you more closely then, because she'll be like, well, she really means it when she says it, because she told me one time only between 8 and 8, and boy, she was a stickler to it, and I don't mess with that. If she says something, she means it. If she thinks you're a pushover, then she won't listen to you, and then you're going to have to be harder on your boundaries, more strict on your boundaries for a while, and show her you really mean business, that you're serious. And that, my dear, is loving yourself. It's really being good to you. And I just heard a sound to confirm that, affirm that. So love yourself enough to not take on her drama, and make sure that you meditate and clear your mind after that, and clear your environment, clear your home, use frankincense and myrrh, incense, clear that energy out. And because otherwise you do qigong or something like that on a regular basis because she's depleting your energy when she's doing that. And you got to give yourself your energy back. Okay. Hope that helps. Ooh. Yeah, it's a whale of a problem, they just said. That's funny. Okay, seaweed. I was thinking it would be an animal, but it's seaweed. So maybe look up what seaweed means or what it represents, whatever you can come up with seaweed. Okay. 5496. One thing I noticed after the ball busting Q&A last week is that I need a catcher's cup along with ear pods to view this content. That's so funny. What if the sheep are becoming a lion? And the shrimp are no longer a karmic appetizer. You said to do that thing that stretches your faith. You won't be disappointed. Well, I have an idea to run by you and the tribe. What if your content inspired a dating app for those with good intentions and are working on themselves? Say Project Satori. Instead of matching on attractiveness, we swipe left or right on energy images created from auras, astrology, voice, sacred geometry, music choices, rising signs. In other words, we remove the lizard brain that makes us swing and miss almost every time. I heard a song that said it like this. Loving would be easy if your colors were like my dreams. Red, gold, red, green, gold, and green. Karma Chameleon is the song. I was told by a tarot reader that in retirement, I would be creating an app that would help people using my IT background. Another intuitive told me that I was a healer and would use frequency, light, and water to heal. Perhaps the app users could grow together in this golden age. That's beautiful. Amy, is Project Satori my North Star? It definitely could be. It definitely could be. Not quite yet, though. Keep accumulating your ideas and try to find out how all that could happen. How you would gather, like just proceed as if you're making the app. Proceed as if how would I make all these different things come together, or how would all that work and all the moving parts? I definitely feel like it has a very strong potential. Actually, they just said 100% potential. Like, you're going to make it. You're going to be able to do this. It may or may not have my name on it, but it will succeed and do very, very well. Yeah, that's such a beautiful idea. I absolutely love it. And I just think that is amazing. And if it should happen, that I always leave things up to spirit. I don't like make things concrete in advance. I don't commit to saying something and saying, okay, yes, that's going to be something that we're going to do necessarily, because I know tomorrow I may wake up and God may be like, you're going this way, or you're doing that, or you're, so I try not to commit to anything like that, but keep developing it. And, and we'll keep feeling it out. We'll keep feeling it out and see how that goes. You can email me at support@awakenedalliance.org. And, yeah, just keep me apprised of how it's going, and, yeah. And they just said something about investing. Okay. Would he need to find the Is he supposed to find the investors? I feel like you need to gather a bunch of data first and then find some investors, then come to me. However, let's see. It's all possible. They're just saying it's all possible. It's all like limitless possibilities there. Great idea. Good thinking. That is just so cool. I love it. Okay, so what spirit cards do we get? Do that thing that stretches your faith. You won't be disappointed. Okay. Laugh at it all. Humor is the best medicine and your greatest weapon against negativity. So if there's anything in that makes you worried, or that doesn't go right, or whatever, just laugh and proceed. Just keep going, We wish you could see you like we see you. You're breathtaking from here. So Spirit is encouraging you, saying that you're doing an incredible job at listening to your heart, at trusting what your intuition's telling you, and all the above. They said something about refinement. Your tastes have become more refined, and they're proud of you. It may seem lonely at the top, but is all the drama worth your peace? The kingdom of God is within you. You can have heaven on earth, but you must let go of everything to truly have it all. So just keep that in mind. Kind of like I was talking at the beginning of this video about maybe going through a tower moment. So they're saying, like, keep your eyes on God, not the drama. Take your eyes off the drama over to God. Constantly doing that in your normal everyday life too, but especially in a moment when you're having a tower moment. Just keep striving for God. And they said, and God is good. So keep striving for good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good. Don't be sticking there, don't put all your attention over here. Just boom. Just keep bringing yourself back. Okay. What else? You'll be supported no matter the decision you make. Just take one step at a time and know that you're being led. There you go. So I would definitely take a divinely inspired action on that notion. Pray for an epiphany so you can gain valuable, beneficial insights, and pray that it be made obvious so you don't miss it. All right. And they said you're doing, again, you're doing good on listening to your intuition. That's the way to do it. They're saying that's the way you do it. So you must be practicing that, and you're doing a good job. Okay. And I would like to, when you write to me, share with me some of your background and what you do. Because you never know whether we could work together in that way or some other capacity or, something like that. So I'm not saying send me your resume necessarily, but just like give me a summarized background of, and just tell me about yourself. Okay, turtle. It's cute. Okay. Let me see. Okay, 5498. I just broke things off with someone I felt was my twin flame. I'm 33 and have never felt the love, passion, and connection I felt with him. But he is not in as stable a place as I am and ended up hurting me badly. This is what happens when you guys come into union like too soon. This is why you let your masculine be over there for as long as he needs to be to kind of grow and mature before he tries to come in your camp. You don't want him coming and, peeing all over things. Like, I'm just saying. This is mine. That's mine too. It's all mine. Marking his territory all over your place. I'm just saying, I'm going to laugh so bad if you actually tell me he did something like that. Because these things pop in my head for a reason. That would be odd. I'm just saying, it's a good thing. The separation is a good thing, you guys. It's protecting you. And yes, there is some big energy of these masculines coming forward right now, though. So if they snooze, they lose pretty much. But you don't have to be upset about it. Just be like, go with the person who's good for you, who's truly good for you. And it may not be your masculine after all, Just go with the person who best suits you in the moment that they present themselves. And if somebody else happens to come before your masculine and they're just incredible for you and you just absolutely love them to pieces and your heart is just, then don't sabotage yourself by saying, well, that one over there, though, that's my true love. Because there are many different true loves that the divine feminines can align themselves with. So keep an open mind. All right. Ended up hurting me pretty badly. I'm an empath and he could, okay. I'm an empath and could feel he truly loved me. He just wasn't at a place where he could provide the stability I'm able to provide. I'm wondering if he truly is a twin flame or more of a karmic. I was authentic, loving, and committed and took the relationship very seriously. I'm wondering if losing me will help him heal himself despite jumping straight into a third-party situationship. Literally, the day we broke up, he jumped into something new. These guys have a terrible habit of having to have something else in their back pocket ready to pull out if they need it. Jumping straight into, okay. Literally the day we broke up, something new, because I feel he can't sit with the pain or learn from it, which is why we couldn't progress. That's really a shame. I'm wondering if we are going to reconcile, which I would only be open to if he became self-aware of the pain he inflicted, or if I truly should move on. I still feel love for him and drawn to him, but have cut off communication focused on healing and ascension. I would love to have a true love spread, please. Okay. So, let me see here. Okay. He was definitely a true love. The way you can tell is basically, I mean, in terms of like trying to figure out if there were a false twin flame or something, the feminines don't have karmics. You gotta take a look at my playlist all about true love to learn all the terminology and stuff. Not that it really matters all that much, but it helps you understand or understand the processes people go through and stuff. So you wouldn't be having a karmic. You would have had a karmic back when you were a masculine in your history when you were immature. Okay. So he wouldn't be a karmic. He would be either a true love or like a false twin flame. If he was a false twin flame, then you would be dealing with somebody who totally doesn't have a heart. They're like a psychopath or a narcissist or a sociopath or something that cannot be changed, that cannot be a better person no matter what. They just like, they're really messed up. And sometimes we're led to those people they're similar to a karmic, really, but we're led through all these signs and synchronicities, even sometimes with those people, so that we will have the experience, so that we will then get over it, and become more, have more self-esteem, confidence in ourselves, learn to love ourselves more. It's all just lessons, it's all just lessons. But I would venture to guess from what you described that masculine probably had a really big heart. And that's why you fell for him. And that's why, he may not have believed in himself enough, which is why you can't be with somebody who doesn't love themselves. So I think you guys came together prematurely, but I will give him credit. I mean, most divine masculines, when they've met their divine feminines, freak out really bad and they run for the hills right away. So your masculine actually shows a lot of promise and a lot of potential that you guys actually managed to have a relationship for a little bit. I mean, that's pretty huge. Now you guys did inevitably go through the separation that everybody goes through in true love. And he does have the potential to change and to come back, but he's got to crash and burn over in the karmic camp. He's got to go through the karmic boot camp over there and get beat up and be used and abused and talked down to and molded and shaped into what she wants, and all that kind of stuff they put them through in order to reconcile with you, to realize that you were the best thing he's ever had. And I'm getting a yes with all of this. So how much Shashinkai Natai-san say? They said in your heart of hearts, he's a good person, and that's your true love. Somebody who truly is like deeply connected to you, and you guys just have that automatic rapport and that sweet kind of love. So, and especially if you've never had a connection like that with anybody else and whatnot, then yeah, that's something you gotta not hold on to. But the best way to hold on to somebody, if you really don't want that person leaving your life, is honestly to mind your own business and to grow and to heal and to stay present in the moment. Because if you truly are energetically connected to that person, which we usually are when we have that kind of connection, and rapport, when you have that special thing with somebody, you're connected energetically. So you might be able to sense each other sometimes and things like that. But as you grow and you level up in your own life, it's going to cause the same thing in them. And anybody else that, some people have multiple suitors like myself, And, as I'm leveling up in all these ways, my masculines are going through, some kind of a trickle down thing over there, you know? So it's like either whether it's one or if it's multiple people, we're all helping each other. You're also helping the collective of all divine feminines who are trying to evolve. So your primary focus needs to be exactly what it is. It needs to be on your ascension, on your ability to sense yourself beyond your personality, to be present in the moment, out of your thinking, meditating, building your chi, healing yourself, doing all the healthy things we can for ourselves right now in this crazy, crazy world. And just, providing for yourself and building yourself up the best you can to take care of yourself. That's all you can do. You'll get reminded of him all the time. That's normal. That's natural. You'll see all the kinds of signs and synchronicities and things that will keep reminding you. But all you have to do is be like, thank you. It's like God's showing you that that's an option for you. That's somebody who's also thinking about you. But that's something that when you think of them, that they're thinking of you. So it's sweet. And you see something that reminds you of them and whatnot. And they're probably having the same thing happen on their end at that same moment. So just know that, he'll figure it out. He's going to figure it out. And when he loves himself enough, he'll come back to you. And if he never loves himself enough, then he won't. But being that you guys have been together, I bet you anything he'll come back, because once you've had a taste of what the real kind of love is, you can't go fake it somewhere else for very long. How much Shashin Kaina Tai? All right, so I'm gonna do the spread. He wants a new beginning with you. He wants to tell you some hidden secrets or come out from hiding. He's spying on you. He wants to see if you started dating somebody, I'm sure. And he's making he feels called by the angels to make some kind of judgment call, to have some courage. He wants to say something to you, and it may seem a bit harsh or brash or, I don't know, blunt. He wants to say something blunt to you about, like, maybe even a confession. Okay, I went with somebody else, just so you know. All right, I went and dated somebody else. And you can judge me if you want to, like facing himself up against the judgment panel. All right, firing squad, go ahead. So it's like he wants to take his lumps. So he's making some kind of a plan for a new beginning. He wants commitment with you. He's going to send you a text message or phone call or something. And he sees you as the best thing that's ever happened to him. And he's getting away from drama. He's already wanting to get the hell out of Dodge. It's like he already sees that whatever he went to was full of drama. He's like, yeah, no. Yeah, and he's like chained to it. This is so funny. This picture cracks me up. He's like chained to it. See that part? There's one of the poles is chained to the wall, and the other is like ready to go. So he's somehow chained to her, but he's fighting her. He's defensive about it because he has faith in you guys. So, he's just like slowly but surely going to try to make progress out of his situation, leave it, and come make you an offer. So he already knows he's in hot water. Look at that, going away from that karmic, sneaking away from the karmic even. And he might be really surprising you with that new beginning. He definitely wants to work hard to heal it and to give you the clarity you deserve about the situation. So, well, that's great. So he was smart. He figured it out pretty quick. Now, though, it's not so easy to go and get away from those karmics. Once the karmics have a hold on them, man, they know how to guilt trip and cry and fake, and they're pretty talented. They're really talented. So they can really look like the real deal, but they're faking it, and they're just using your masculine. So it looks like he wants to get the heck out of there. And so he's going to be working on that. Did I already do that one? No. Okay, that's the one I'm working on. Is that the one I already did? Yep. Okay. I made my cat jump. I said something like, hey, something, and I started like, ugh. All right. Okay. Anything else? Nope, that's good. Okay. 5,500. Oh, little dolphins. They're just wonderful. Okay. Yeah, 5,500. Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for answering my question last week. You're welcome. Someone asked you a question recently about some of their friends and having good intentions for them, which has inspired me to do the same. So I was wondering if you could feel into this list of friends to see if they have my best interests in their hearts for long term. I want to make sure these people are good for me to continue to be around. So any insight would be helpful. If any of them are soulmates, I would love to know that as well. Thank you in advance. All right. Um, number one, is this a trustworthy person who has her best interests at heart? That was really interesting. It looked like, yes, I am. No, I'm not. I'm out of here. So it's kind of like this person feels like they could, but they're fickle. Like the minute the shitstorm happened, they'd be running for cover, and like we were talking about the person earlier, like if you guys were drowning in the ocean or something, she'd definitely grab you and put you down under and try to get on top of you and survive. Like, so when push comes to shove, she may not be the most loyal. Only because she's incredibly insecure and she's a people pleaser. So you can't really count on people like that. All right. Number two. I feel like that person's pretty damn solid. They've got your back. They'd go to fight for you. They'd go to bat for you if they had to. They would defend your honor. And I do believe they are a soulmate of some sort. Yeah, they've been your friend before. They just had many lifetimes. So I don't doubt that one at all. Okay. Number three. He's a goodie. He's a goodie. He may have feelings for you he's not telling you or admitting to. Yeah, I think so. So you might be hurting him by staying friends with him. It's hard to stay friends with people of the opposite sex, especially because usually one person likes the other in a romantic way, and it just hurts that person. So I don't advise it unless I don't even know if it's very, very rare that you actually find a friendship where they actually truly both see themselves as friends. And some people are just fooling themselves or they're in denial when they say that. Because when I really pick at it, they admit, yeah, I know he's got feelings for me, but I'll never go there. Well, don't hurt him then. Don't use him for however you're using him, or just make it absolutely completely clear that you guys are just friends. Don't be flirting, don't be smiling, don't be giggling, don't be telling him he's the best thing in the whole world. That's manipulation. You know what I mean? So just think about that for a minute. All right. Anything else about him? Is he a soulmate? Some kind of soulmate? I actually do feel like I think he was your dog. And he was a soulmate, but I think he was an animal. So like kind of a loyal little friend that would come along with you. So, but yeah, he definitely wants things to evolve with you. So I'd just be really, really careful not to break his heart. Okay. Number 4, best interest at heart, best interest at heart, best interest at heart. Selfish, unfortunately. Self-centered is what they're saying. Self-centered. We all are self-centered. Let's just set the record straight. Everybody's looking out for themselves unless you're enlightened and you actually know who you are and it has nothing to do with your name or your body. But yeah, it does. Hang on. It's working out now because there's nothing at risk, kind of. But let's say she met your guy, whoever you're dating, and she liked him a lot, she would dump you. She wouldn't be loyal to you. She does compare herself to you sometimes too. So I don't think she would necessarily steer you in the wrong direction, but I don't think she'd go the extra mile to make sure that you do really well, kind of thing. She'd help you get by, but she's not going to like help you excel or be super successful to where she'd feel insecure about herself. It's like you can only go so far. And then you're gonna, I don't know what she would do to bring you back down. I don't know. But I don't think she would necessarily be malicious or something like that. But I do feel she's fickle. All right. 5. 5 feels pretty good. Yep. What you guys have is pretty solid. It feels great. No, I don't feel any warning. You guys need to talk more though about things that bother you, because I think sometimes, I don't know, I think it's him. I think sometimes he holds back that he got upset about something or had his feelings hurt or something, and he doesn't tell you. He's got to work on that if you guys are going to really be solid. I mean, you guys are solid, but maybe encourage him. You can tell me anything. If I ever hurt your feelings, I want to know, because I want to grow as a person. I want to better myself. And I want us to be close. I don't want anything between us. And when you don't say how you feel, I mean, I just had a thing happen with a friend of mine, and I said, I said, I just wanted to let you know you made a funny face when I said blah, blah. And I just wondered, were you judging me in that moment? Because, just let me know if you were, and we could talk about it. And she starts laughing. She goes, no, I wouldn't know. She goes, I must have been, picking up on something that I was seeing in the energy field or something like that, and she's very honest. She would totally tell me. She'd be like, oh yeah, I thought you were being an idiot or something like that, but that's the kind of communication you got to have with those closest to you. You got to be able to be like, hey, did I just see that? Did I just see something? Or did you really, say that? Be able to say that kind of hurt my feelings. Now, for me also in friendships, I have the ability to, and we can all, do this, but the ability to self-soothe, I can self-soothe. When somebody does something, I can decide, is that a behavior I want to change in them? Or is it something I need to see differently? So I'm careful about what I would say to somebody in terms of like, I think that's my issue. I'll take a good look at it before I'll bring it up to them, because you only have, it's like you got to give a lot of grace in a good, valuable friendship or relationship. You got to give a lot of grace. So I do so-called pick my battles, but I'm also honest. I'm also honest about how I feel and what I think about things. So yeah, I just think that he needs to voice himself more. He needs to tell you, because I think that there could be some things that you might be being insensitive about without realizing it. And those kinds of things, you do kind of need to, you do need to care about the other person sometimes, and adjust your own behavior. Okay. 6. Solid for now, but it feels like she might drift away at some point in the future. So I wouldn't tell her every little secret you have in life. It just feels like she's going to go another direction. She might stay in touch with you here and there, but she'll feel flitty and floaty. It's like I can see her kind of anchored to you, but she's going over here, over there, but she keeps like, there's some kind of a tether here attached to you, but she's going to float all over the place and go like all over. So I'm not sure she would be somebody. Yeah, like I said, don't tell her your deepest, darkest secrets, I guess, because she's not going to be there like at your right hand through life. Okay. 7. I feel like they're a soulmate and they're solid. I do feel she has some recommendations for your life, and she's also kind of holding herself back from telling you. Like, I think you should have no sugar in your diet or whatever it is. She doesn't want to tell you that because she doesn't want you to think differently. Like, she doesn't want you to take offense. So maybe you've taken offense to things that she said before or gotten on the defense about it. So I would work on that, but I would ask her, is there any piece of advice you're holding back from me right now? She'll be like, well, how'd you know? But I think that the piece of advice she's going to offer you is actually would actually be helpful. I think it's an accurate assessment, whatever she's thinking. I think she's right. Okay. 8. Yep, that's a good one. You picked a good one there. I feel like hold tight. I get hold tight. Huh. It almost feels like hold tight because he's going to rush to you. And it feels like it could be romantic. So hopefully this is a romantic person in your life. Because or if it's same sex and you're not gay, then it could be them just like going to surprise you and show up or something like that, But like hold tight because something cool is going to happen with that person, though. It feels like whatever it is, you're going to be pretty excited, pretty happy about it. All right, 9. I feel like he's putting himself out on a limb to try to test things with you to see if he can trust you. And I think it's possible to develop something stronger, but I don't know. I feel like he holds back a lot. I feel like he can be kind of a manipulator too, the way he kind of tests the water a lot like that. He's the kind of guy that would buzz around a girl forever before ever going and telling her that he liked her. He would come up with every excuse in the book. Oh, we're just friends. And oh, I'm just here hanging out with my friends. I'm not here to see you. Like he would beat around the bush for years. Like never get to the point. So I don't know. I do feel like if you came to that point where you had some good rapport going and stuff, I do feel that he would give you a good, honest, kind of have your back type of advice. If he gives you advice, it's probably because he really is thinking of the best for you. But you can ultimately be the only person. You will always only be the only person who will have your back the best, and who truly has your own interests at heart, your own heart. You know what I mean? Always check back in with yourself and don't listen to anybody else in terms of what they advise, unless it's pulling from within you as the right thing to do and the best thing to do. Okay. 10. He feels good. I kind of feel in some ways he feels like he's better than you. I don't know if he's judging you, but it's like he feels like something that he feels he's more upright than you, or has more integrity, or is doing something better than you. And almost like he thinks you're too loosey-goosey or take too many risks, and he's like straight lined about it, or he just seems a little bit more rigid, and he feels like he's just a bit higher than you on the scale. I don't know why he would need to be up higher than you, but that I would say that's not somebody who's got your best interests at heart. Because he's comparing himself to you. Like I do feel, depending on the circumstances, he could be a good pillar for you. But it would totally depending on the circumstances. So it's like 50-50. I would not just totally bank on him being a really good friend for the rest of your life. I wouldn't. Okay. Did I get everything already? Well, that flew by. Am I missing a sheet? If I am, I guess I'm gonna have to make another one of these. Anyway, okay, it looks like we're done. If you want to ask a question on the next Q&A, submit your question by Sunday, because I shoot these on Monday mornings. And you just go to awakenedalliance.org, become a member, and go to the services page and look for Ask Amy Q&A. And that's where you put in your question and you ask me your question. It's $33 per question, and you can have however many questions you want. Okay, so have yourselves a beautiful, oh yeah, I got to do the blissing. I got to do the blissing. Okay. We're going to do the crab. Okay. See his cute little smile. Okay. Everybody just relax, drop your shoulders, take a deep breath. Let any stress go. God's got you. You got you. I got you. We all got each other here. This is your community. This is your tribe. You can lean on one another. And I want you to just think about something you'd like to clear up in your life or have solutions around, or would just like the weight lifted off of you right now. And as long as it's within everybody's highest good and respecting everybody's free will, then the energy for it will be amplified. The energy for the solution or whatever you're looking for will be amplified. Okay. Put your intention out there. Hapama sheshe nataki insase hela upon pomaan. Hala sanse she nataki ila sanse ipup ushinchinke. Hala humama anata insanse she ela ki ins. Sa se she la ki pina taike ena. Ha pomama ala hana taishin shina. Hala sanse pema ama ana ike. Hala she na taike sanse. No reason to stress. It's all working out beautifully, even if you can't see it yet. So I'm going to pull a couple cards about your situation. You're not getting that apology or thing you think they owe you. So stop giving your power away. You give yourself what you need or the words you need to heal, not them. So you may need to write a letter to that person and let them know exactly how you feel right now. Don't send the letter necessarily. Maybe burn it, but definitely like write those feelings out or process them. Laugh at it all. Humor is the best medicine and your greatest weapon against negativity. So don't forget to laugh. You're being too superficial about it. Dig deeper to pull it up by the roots. What's really underneath it all? So that's where I feel like a lot of people are having that tower moment, is to bring them deeper. Like I was saying in the beginning of the video, if you haven't watched the beginning of the video, you want to do that. So like this is just, you're uprooted sometimes just to take a really good look at what you truly believe and what you're really made of, and then reaffirm it for yourself. Don't take it personally. This person is only projecting onto you. Imagine them saying it in the mirror and at themselves, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So whatever, if somebody said something harsh to you, mean to you, or done something to you, imagine whatever they're saying to you, they're actually saying it to themselves in the mirror, and it'll give you some insights about it. Definitely do my thank you God for my misery exercise, and thank God for whatever's going on, and then come up with all the benefits and advantages as to why that's perfect that's going on right now. Take your time making any decision. You'll know when it's time to take action, so don't worry, you won't miss the window. And don't let anybody pressure or push you to make a decision before you're ready. You can give anonymously to those who've been in difficult places like you've been before. And don't let anyone else tell you who you are. You are what you believe you are. So be what you believe. All right. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.